February 28th, 2026, 7 o'clock in the morning. Deep inside a reinforced bunker, 200 feet beneath the streets of Tehran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is mid-sentence. Around a conference table sit 12 of the most powerful men in the Islamic Republic. The IRGC commander, the defense minister, intelligence chiefs, men who control armies, missiles, nuclear secrets, men who have never been touched. Then the ceiling moves. Not an earthquake, not a drill. The reinforced concrete above, built to survive a nuclear strike, is cracking. Dust falls, lights flicker, and in that single second, every man in the room understands what's happening. They found us. In 43 seconds, this bunker, these 12 men, will cease to exist. Ended. In less time than it takes to make a phone call. But here's what nobody is telling you. Khamenei wasn't found by luck. He was lured. The United States and Israel spent months engineering this exact moment, and the trap started closing 6 months ago with a photograph posted to social media. Before we break down every second of this operation, hit that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment telling us where you're watching from, because what you're about to hear will change how you see modern warfare forever. By late 2025, Iran's nuclear program had crossed every red line. IAEA inspectors confirmed uranium enrichment at 60% purity, one step from weapons grade. A secret facility near Fordo had been discovered, deeper and more hardened than anything previously known. In June 2025, Israel launched strikes on Iranian nuclear sites. The US followed with strikes on Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. Iran's program was damaged, not destroyed. Within weeks, Iran began rebuilding, faster, deeper, more dispersed. February 2026. US-Iran negotiations in Oman appeared to reach a breakthrough, but American and Israeli intelligence showed a different picture. Iran was using the talks as cover while accelerating its program underground. The assessment reaching the White House was blunt. Diplomacy had failed. The window was closing permanently. Operation Epic Fury was authorized, not because talks broke down, because the intelligence showed the talks were never real. September 2025, Tel Aviv, Mossad headquarters. Past midnight, a 34-year-old analyst named Yael has been staring at screens for 11 hours. Her job: scan millions of Iranian social media posts, flag faces, flag locations. Most nights, nothing. Then the algorithm pings. A photo. A man and his cousin at a cafe in northern Tehran. Normal. Except Mossad's AI flags the background. In the cafe window reflection, barely visible, is a street sign. Yael zooms in, enhances. Her hands stop moving. She knows that street. It's in a restricted zone that doesn't appear on civilian maps. She runs the location through satellite databases. What comes back is a ghost, a compound with no public records, heavy security, completely off the grid. For 2 weeks, satellites watch 24 hours a day. A pattern emerges. Every Saturday morning, exactly 12 black armored SUVs arrive. Same number, same time. October 19th, 2025. A drone catches a 1.3-second gap in the security protocol. One SUV arrives early. The rear door opens. Before bodyguards close in, a face is visible. Facial recognition runs the image. Yael's supervisor is out of bed at 2 a.m. The result isn't a general. It's Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Iran's supreme leader, the most protected man in the Middle East, and he comes here every Saturday, like clockwork. November 2025. CIA headquarters, Langley, Virginia. Mossad shares everything. A joint CIA-Mossad-NSA task force assembles in 72 hours. Mission: find out what happens inside that compound every Saturday. Here's what they discover, and what nobody was supposed to know. The CIA hacks Tehran's power grid, not to disable it, just to monitor it. Every Saturday at 6:45 a.m., 15 minutes before the SUVs arrive, power consumption spikes. Conference room equipment, lights, HVAC, a large meeting being prepared. December 2025. The NSA cracks an encrypted IRGC communication. 3 words.
All senior commanders.
Location matches the compound. This isn't just Khamenei. This is Iran's entire military and political leadership. Every Saturday, in one room. The memo that reaches the president's desk says,
once-in-a-generation opportunity.
January 20th, 2026. Trump's inauguration night. Behind closed doors, Trump asks his CIA director one question. The director explains the obstacles: air defenses, Hardened concrete, Russian surveillance. Then,
We need them all there at once. Can we force that?
Yes, sir, but they'll need to believe we're targeting something else.
Make that happen.
February 2026, the Persian Gulf. 2 carrier strike groups, B-2 bombers in Diego Garcia, F-22s in Qatar and UAE, Tomahawk destroyers in the Strait of Hormuz. Official story, pressure campaign against Iran's nuclear program. Iran's intelligence analyzes every ship position, every flight pattern. Their conclusion, strikes on nuclear facilities within days. An emergency coordination meeting is called. Saturday, February 28th, all senior leadership, the compound, 7 a.m. And just like that, the trap closes. The Americans were never preparing to hit nuclear facilities. They were performing a show powerful enough to force Iran's entire leadership into one location at one time that had been watched for 6 months. February 27th. 11:47 p.m. Mar-a-Lago. Final CIA confirmation. All 12 targets confirmed present for tomorrow.
Success probability?
94%, sir.
Trump signs the execute order in silence in Florida while Tehran sleeps. February 27th, 11 p.m. Whiteman Air Force Base, Missouri. 3 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers taxi in complete darkness, each invisible to radar. Each carries the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator, 30,000 pounds, engineered to punch through 200 feet of reinforced concrete before detonating. The most powerful conventional weapon on Earth. Pilots have studied 3D compound models for weeks. Every wall, every layer. Targeting calculations run 200 times. 11:30 p.m. Bombers lift off heading east. Arrival, exactly 7 a.m. Tehran time. At Nevatim Air Base, Israel, 200 F-35 fighters receive final briefings. Pilots read in silence. Nobody speaks. Across the Persian Gulf, U.S. destroyers load 200 Tomahawk missiles, every coordinate locked. In Tehran, Khamenei sleeps. He has 8 hours left. February 28th, 6:30 a.m. Tehran. Normal Saturday morning. Street vendors. Morning traffic. Nothing unusual. At the compound, guard rotations proceed on schedule. 12 armored SUVs fueled and positioned. 200 feet below, the bunker waits. Built in the 1990s, reinforced 3 times since. 4-meter steel-reinforced concrete walls. Ceiling designed to survive a near-surface nuclear detonation. 6 escape tunnels. Independent generators. 60 days of supplies. Nobody who built it had heard of the GBU-57. 50,000 feet above, invisible to every Iranian radar, 3 B-2 bombers hold their pattern, waiting. In Langley, CIA analysts count vehicles on thermal satellite feeds.
Vehicle 3, Vehicle 7, Vehicle 10.
All 12. All targets confirmed present. 1 encrypted message transmits to the lead bomber.
All targets present. Clear to proceed.
6:52 a.m. Khamenei takes his seat at the head of the table. Around him, IRGC Commander Pakpour, Defense Minister Nasirzadeh, intelligence directors, the men who control Iran's nuclear program, its proxies, its missiles. The meeting begins. The situation is serious. American forces are positioned across the Gulf. Strikes expected within hours. Response protocols must be finalized today. His phone vibrates. Message from air defense. High-altitude contacts northwest of Tehran. His defense minister checks.
Could be reconnaissance, sir. Systems have been hypersensitive.
Khamenei sets the phone down. Continue. 50,000 feet above, the B-2 pilot receives green authorization.
Weapon armed. Release on my mark.
1 breath.
Release.
The bomb bay door opens. A GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator drops into the air above Tehran. 30,000 pounds of precision engineering. For 12 seconds, it falls unpowered, a black shape against blue sky that nobody on the ground can see. Then guidance fins extend. GPS locks. Micro adjustments begin, tracking toward one precise coordinate on the surface of the Earth, directly above where Khamenei sits, 200 feet underground. At the same instant, 200 Israeli F-35s open strikes across Tehran. Air defense radar sites erupt in sequence. IRGC headquarters takes direct hits. The Ministry of Defense begins burning. Explosions roll across the city like a wave. In the bunker, everyone stands. Defense Minister's phone screaming incoming alerts.
Sir, simultaneous strikes citywide. Air defenses reporting hits.
Then a different sound. Not the explosions above, something else entirely. A vibration that travels through the floor, through the walls, through the air itself, a deep groan from the bedrock, the kind of sound that means something massive is moving through solid earth at speed. Lights cut out. Emergency power activates. Red emergency lighting fills the room with crimson. One general says quietly, "They're here." The GBU-57 hits the compound roof at 700 miles per hour. It does not explode, not yet. That is the weapon's design. The hardened steel nose cone punches through the roof structure as if it isn't there, through the first floor, the second, into solid bedrock. shock. 50 feet, 100, 150. The men in the bunker below cannot hear it. The bomb travels faster than sound moves through rock. At exactly 200 feet, precisely level with the bunker floor, the pressure fuse triggers. 1,200 pounds of high explosive detonate in a sealed underground space. The bunker ceiling, designed to survive a nuclear near-miss, cracks along every structural seam simultaneously. Concrete sections weighing multiple tons break free and fall. Temperature spikes 800 degrees in the first millisecond. The overpressure wave reaches 45,000 pounds per square inch. Dust so thick it is solid matter. Total darkness. The sound of reinforced concrete crushing metal. One voice, briefly, then silence. Above ground, the entire compound shudders as if hit by an earthquake. The main building sags at its center. Windows blow outward 200 meters in every direction. Then the structure collapses inward, falling into the void created below. A dust cloud erupts 300 feet into the Tehran sky. In under 60 seconds, the most fortified leadership compound in Iran is a crater, but the mission is not finished. 7:02 a.m. Second strike. 6 precision bombs target the 6 underground escape tunnels simultaneously. 6 detonations. Every exit sealed. 7:08 a.m. Third strike. Vehicle depot. 12 armored SUVs detonate in chain explosions. In Langley, ground-penetrating radar overlaid on thermal imaging scans the debris, looking for any heat signature that isn't fire, any movement, nothing. 7:14 a.m. Assessment to the White House.
Bunker destroyed. No movement. No viable heat signatures. Target package neutralized.
But neutralized is not confirmed. The president needs proof. Israeli special operations teams had been embedded in Tehran for 72 hours. Within 40 minutes of impact, they moved through the chaos toward the compound. Thermal cameras, ground-penetrating radar. They locate the collapsed bunker. 13 bodies. All 12 men confirmed. Photographs taken. Biometrics collected. Images encrypted and transmitted to Tel Aviv and Mar-a-Lago simultaneously. 7:58 a.m. Netanyahu calls.
Mr. President, confirmation. They're all dead.
Trump is silent for 3 seconds, sets the phone down.
Prepare my statement.
Iran's military responds immediately, but the chain of command is dead. No central coordination exists. Units fire on their own initiative. The generals who would have designed a synchronized, overwhelming counterstrike are buried under 200 feet of rubble. 8:45 a.m. IRGC missile units launch 180 ballistic missiles and Shahed drones toward Israel and U.S. military bases in Bahrain, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. The launches are unsequenced. No electronic warfare support. No coordination between drone and missile units. Raw firepower aimed blindly. Israel's layered air defense, Iron Dome, David Sling, Arrow 3, intercepts 94% of incoming projectiles. US THAAD batteries in Qatar and Bahrain eliminate the rest. One American contractor sustains minor injuries. That is the complete US-Israeli casualty count from Iran's retaliation. Meanwhile, American strikes continue systematically. Every Iranian military airfield rendered inoperable by noon. The ballistic missile production facility outside Isfahan destroyed. 6 Iranian warships sunk at Bandar Abbas. State television towers destroyed at 10:30 a.m. By evening, Iran cannot mount a coordinated military response. Its command is gone. Its air force is grounded. Its navy is sinking. Every major capital issues a statement within hours. Moscow condemns the operation as a violation of international sovereignty. Russia demands an emergency UN Security Council session. Russian forces in the region go on elevated alert, but no Russian forces move toward Iran. Russia issues statements, nothing more. Beijing files a formal protest, calling the strikes destabilizing and a violation of the UN Charter. China's ambassador requests a Security Council session, blocked immediately by a US veto. France, Germany, and the UK issue carefully worded expressions of concern without directly condemning the operation. The language is diplomatic. The meaning is clear. None of them will intervene. Gulf states, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar say nothing publicly. Their governments were briefed 48 hours in advance. American operations from bases on their soil continue without interruption. Every government privately understands the same reality. Iran cannot retaliate at scale. Its command structure is destroyed. Its air defenses are blind. Any country that moves militarily against the United States in an active combat operation risks becoming the next target. Nobody wants that confrontation. The condemnations are words. words, nothing more. February 28th, 12 p.m. Eastern, the White House.
My fellow Americans, this morning, the United States and Israel conducted the most precise military operation in modern history. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead. Iran's top military commanders are dead. Their nuclear program is destroyed. 0 American casualties. Every objective achieved. The nuclear threat, weeks from crossing a permanent threshold, has been eliminated. To the Iranian people, this action was taken against a military apparatus, not a nation or its people. To the world, when the United States identifies a threat to its national security, it acts. That is not a warning. That is a record.
He pauses, walks off the stage. February 28th, 2026 ends with Iran in a condition that has no modern precedent. Khamenei left no designated successor. Iran's constitution requires the assembly of experts, 88 senior clerics, to convene and select a new supreme leader. But 7 assembly members are confirmed dead from today's strikes. Dozens more are unreachable. There is no procedure for selecting a new leader, while the country's communication infrastructure is offline and bombers are still in the air. Ali Larijani, former parliament speaker and one of the few surviving senior figures, appears briefly on state television from an undisclosed location. Face gray, voice controlled.
Iran remains sovereign. The government continues to function. We will respond to this aggression in due course.
The broadcast lasts 90 seconds before the transmitter is destroyed. The IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard Corps that has been the backbone of state power for decades, is leaderless. Its commander is dead. Its headquarters destroyed. Individual units across the country have weapons and soldiers, but no orders from above. In several provinces, local commanders are making independent decisions about whether to maintain their positions or stand down entirely. The question nobody can answer tonight: who controls Iran's remaining nuclear materials? Who commands the missile units that didn't fire today? Who speaks for a government whose speaker has been silenced? Events in the next 72 hours will determine whether Iran moves toward transition, fragments along regional lines, or descends into prolonged internal conflict. 3 possibilities, no clear probability on any of them. What is certain? The Middle East that existed on the morning of February 28th no longer exists by nightfall. A government that commanded one of the region's largest militaries, that controlled active nuclear infrastructure, that ran proxy networks across 6 countries, located and eliminated through a cafe window reflection in a photo posted to social media. Subscribe, because what happens to Iran in the coming days may be the most consequential story of this decade, and nobody knows how it ends.